Hello, welcome back. Okay, this is the final part. We're going to just do it in two little pieces, actually. We're not going to spend an awful lot of time on this, but we have got a few viewer questions and answers. Customers, that's showing our heritage, isn't it? Yeah. And so we've got a few questions posed by viewers. We'll obviously give them a name check as well. And after that, we're sort of done with the air guns, but we just off camera we've just been chatting about soft air guns, haven't we?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And yeah, they are a lot of fun. And actually, I've ended up it's like a show and tell, isn't it? Off camera.
We're going to put that in after the questions and answers.
Yeah, we'll put that in afterwards, and we'll show you some soft air guns and what have you, and have a bit of a chat about the history of the guns behind them. Anyway, first question we've got you. I haven't actually told you these questions, so it's going to be new, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got Adam Terser. Thank you very much, Adam.
Adam.
Adam's posed this on our Facebook page. He says, "Why not make a trigger guide for airgun shooters? And also, as well, can you discuss more about the quality of the triggers or trigger units on the guns that you review?"
Okay. So
we sort of have done, haven't we? Because
we try to. It's
a little bit.
It's very subjective, isn't it? Because some people like light triggers. Most people who've been shooting air guns for some time are looking for a light, crisp trigger. Somebody coming into the sport who's maybe shot shotguns, it appalls them how light the triggers are now. They say, "Oh, I never get used to that," because they do. But it's a different thing. On a shotgun, you can't have too light a trigger because the recoil action could mean it'll jump. So you have to have a certain trigger pull. Now I understand it's around 3 pounds. On an air gun, you can go down to, I've shot a 2-ounce trigger on an air gun, which is you almost can't feel.
Like a set trigger.
That's right. It's just amazing. Just the aura of your fingers sets a gun off. That gives you an idea where the ratios are. Most electronic triggers are around 8, 9, 10 ounces. And most conventional PCP rifles are about £1 to £1.5 pounds. Up to that spring gun we shot this morning, which is probably around a £2-3 pound trigger. But it does vary from gun to gun. So we could sit here with a trigger pull weight, digital or mechanical, and pick up a gun, and we would say, right, this has a trigger pull of 1.5 pounds. Open another box, different caliber, it's going to have a different pull, because different loadings will produce different adjustments from different engineers. So it's you can say, oh yes, the Dyna has a £2 trigger pull, and the next Dyna might have a £3, the next one £1.5 pounds. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just for that one.
There is a little bit of inconsistency, but I think Adam's got it's got a point where I've got a trigger pull gauge at the shop. There's no reason when we start to do the sort of the proper reviews. I mean, you can see we're just warming up into this, really, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, it's a chat show more than a review show.
Yeah,
we've got something to talk about.
Actually, do you know what somebody else did point out and said, can we have more reviews and less chat?
Well, then what are we going to do?
We're doomed. Just not say anything. But yeah, Adam, thank you very much for the question. And my answer is, we do try to discuss about the trigger units. It is a little bit. The thing is that, like you said, most of them are set up quite heavy out of the box these days, and they can be adjusted down. But we'll take that into consideration in future, and we'll make sure that when we're doing reviews, we will mention the quality.
It's an old gunsmith trick, as you say, you give the rifle into the gunsmith and you say, can you improve the accuracy? And he just makes the trigger lighter, gives it you back. So try that. Oh, it's amazing. It's so much better. If you can take away the snatch, because most people don't concentrate on their trigger technique, they just pull the trigger. And, if you've got really heavy triggers, so some of the military weapons from the past
horrendous.
I remember the SA-80 had something like a 14-pound trigger pull on that gun. So, just amazingly, and a 3-stage trigger, which first, then as a graunch, then it went bang.
Right.
Yeah, so it just depends on what you're used to. Air guns generally have good triggers.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's answered your question, Adam. But we will, like I say, we will take it into consideration. And I have got a trigger pull gauge somewhere, so maybe I'll dig it out and dust it off. Yeah. We're only going to do 5 questions because, to be honest with you, we don't want this to go on forever. But Adam Huskins. I think that was on our YouTube channel.
Right.
He says, is there any chance that you could tell us the best rifles to buy in different price brackets, and for us to both pick a gun each in each price category and discuss about them?
Well, there's a long-term project for us.
We've got nothing better to do.
That's quite correct. What we can do then is, for the next show, let's have a think about one of each in each category.
Okay.
That makes sense. and we'll
What's the
present
category?
it.
I tell you what, let's leave this. Let's get more viewer input, and you tell us what categories you want to see.
Yeah.
You know, do you want to see a price category, like sort of up to £500 or up to £300 or whatever? And do you want to see separate categories? Don't make it too complicated.
One of the great things about this show that you probably don't know is that we have access to unlimited amounts of air guns, and we don't have to get them from the manufacturers either, because we've got access to Solware guns and we've got access to Blackpool air rifle guns.
Yep.
So between the two huge shops, we can pretty much borrow, beg, steal anything we want. So if there's a gun in a category that we want to review, we can get it, and we don't have to wait or pay homage to anybody to get it.
Yeah,
and we don't necessarily have to say nice things about it either, do we?
No, we can tell the truth.
So we can tell the truth. So
well,
you tell us what you
honest,
want.
we're beholden to you, not the manufacturers. I don't know whether you've noticed about this show, but you know, I do get a bit of wrath from the manufacturers for some of the things I've said in the past, and you know, probably will do again. But the point is that we're not doing it for them, we're doing it for you. So at the end of the day, you tell us what you want, and like I said, for this example, tell us what price bracket you want us to do, and we'll come up with something.
We're going to be hard but fair.
Yeah, exactly. So again, thank you very much, Adam Huskins, for the question. We appreciate it. I wish I'd got my glasses on. Stephen Rogers has said he'd like to see reviews on second-hand guns, especially from manufacturers no longer in the industry.
Right, so you're talking Theoben, Falcon,
lots and lots
of
manufacturers. Yeah, Falcon.
Yeah.
I don't know about Gifford, but be interesting.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can do that. We did cover a couple of second-hand guns a little while back.
So what we basically need to do is I need to sort of go and raid my racks and bring a few
interesting ones.
Something. Yeah. Okay. So Theobans and this, that, and
I mean, I actually think we could go further than that. For instance, if you're going to do a Falcon, why wouldn't you do a Falcon TI? Wonderful unknown gun, titanium masterpiece of a gun. Falcon made it for about 5 minutes. Something like that. If we can find one. Yeah. Maybe we can borrow one of those.
Or my favourite in the Falcon range was the Falcon Light Hunter.
Well, what a
beautiful one. Absolutely gorgeous stock. Yeah, the 12-inch one.
Yeah, with a skeleton stock as well.
That's right.
And there was a handful of those with Gary Kane stocks because they couldn't get them in custom stock. So Gary Kane made one batch of skeleton Falcon stocks. And for that, just a magnificent rifle.
I mean, to be honest, I'd like to do some of the I mean, we get some really weird and wonderful rifles.
Something like a Theoben SLR 88 or something like that, you know.
Well, to be honest with you, that's the
very hard to get hold of.
The 98. I mean, I had a 98 with a long barrel, and in my opinion, that's one of the best rifles ever made. So I can't say anything bad about it.
What was the field target version they did for that?
Imperator.
I
SLR 88
watched
Imperator.
an American US Marine sergeant take an American championship against PCPs or one of those. What a thing to do.
One of my good friends, David Benyon, who does, he still does HFT actually. He used an Imperator when they first came out and had a lot of success with that rifle.
Yeah, great rifle.
And because of that, I actually bought an Imperator as well, and I sold it, and that was one of the rifles I regret selling.
If we can get hold of one of those, we'll bring that on, or an SLR.
I had one in a couple of months ago, but it lasted about 3 hours.
The SLR, by the way, is the magazine version of the underlever Theoben, which again are very rare but beautiful rifles.
Fantastic.
So maybe we can do some. See if we can get hold of one of those.
I tell you what I want to do as well. I don't know whether anybody's ever seen it, but I want to do a Black Fox. Do you remember the Black Fox?
I know the guy who made it.
And also as well, what was that other rifle? I tell you what, we had a couple of days ago. I wish I brought this on the show. That's the Park Rifle RH91, the one that copped with a bicycle chain.
I've got one of those.
Have you?
Yeah, somewhere. I'll have to dig that out for you.
The next question we've got from Hunter100T. That's his nickname, not his real name, on YouTube. And he's asked us, are there any BSA designs on an Air Sporter relaunch?
Well, if there is, we don't know about it. Has he heard? Does he know something that we don't?
I don't. That's all he said. I've not heard anything from BSA, and to be honest with you, I'll put good money on it that there won't be an Air Sporter relaunch. I doubt it
somehow. I mean, who's to say what they're up to? I did try calling them earlier and wasn't able to find out anything really, but. No, I wouldn't think it was likely. They seem to be concentrating on their PCP market.
And to be honest with you, I'm going to go along with that, and I think it's highly unlikely to see an Air Sporter relaunch. I think actually because BSA are going to be concentrating on pre-charge rifles, and one of the reasons really as well is the old dirty word profit margin. I think I remember being told quite a few years ago actually by another company. I won't mention the names, but I asked them if they were going to make another spring rifle, and they carry on making a spring rifle. They'd sort of stopped doing it, and they said, well, there's not really much point because we can make 4 pre-charge rifles in the same time that it took them to make the spring rifle, and there was obviously more profit margin in it, which isn't a dirty word, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, every company's got to make money, haven't they?
Yeah, well, of course, the spring rifles, there's a bigger market, but the old IS bought a lovely rifle. The last version, remember, was the RB rotating breech version, but it was an old girl, wasn't it? It had the old-fashioned trigger, old-fashioned underlever catch. It was at the end of its time.
I mean, it would be lovely, you know, if they actually did relaunch an air sporter and kept some of the traditional looks, but put like modern materials that BSA are using now inside it, sorted out the tap loading problem once and for all. But at the end of the day, if you sorted the tap loading problem out, would it be an air sporter anymore anyway? So unfortunately, Hunter 100T, I think the answer is probably no, but we'd like to be proved wrong. Thank you very much for the question anyway, and I think we've got, is this the last question for today? Yes, I think it is. Michael Jenkins, thank you very much, Michael. He posted this, I think, on our Facebook page.
All right, okay.
He says, any more self-indexing air rifles coming out, like the Steyr?
Oh, yes. Well, not that we know of again. The Steyr pretty much seems to have cornered the market for that. We had a little look at that Crossman a few weeks back, didn't we?
Well, yeah, the Benjamin Wildfire. I guess you could say that was well, they call it a semi-auto, don't they? But
it's all over the advertising as semi-auto.
It is.
It doesn't seem to. It's been going so long now. I think that pretty much the jury's out that it must be okay. Otherwise, somebody would have prosecuted.
Not heard anything so far. Although maybe there's not really that many Steyrs on the market.
Maybe people aren't that fussed. It's after all an air gun. It's not going to.
Better things to worry about at the moment.
So,
So I'm afraid, Michael, apart from the Benjamin Wildfire that came out after the Steyr, at the moment I have not heard of any plans from any manufacturer. But don't forget is that a lot of the manufacturers don't actually involve their retailers too much, because I think they're really quite worried about the information getting out. So a lot of the new products that comes out these days, even the retailers are quite surprised when it's announced, aren't they?
Yeah.
The old days of like, this is coming out but keep it quiet until release date, it doesn't work. Because
well, if you're going to the semi-auto, because there's the Vanics have done quite a few now, and they're not, as far as I know, are they available in the UK, the Vanics semi-auto?
No, well, to be honest with you, I thought Michael meant, I think what he was intimating is there's lots of semi-automatics out there, but for the UK market, are we going to see any more?
FX2 2, and they haven't really done one for a few years. They're right on the ball with new models, but no new semi-autos for any market. Vanics do a beautiful semi-automatic, maybe 2 different versions of it. It was all over the place at IWA show.
I saw it. Looked quite interesting actually. So, but I think they are actually working on a manual cocking version as well, aren't they? Which will in fact, I know there was an Evanix importer, but at the moment I don't think there is one.
No.
So that'll be interesting.
Somebody on the south coast in Sussex, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I wish I could remember who it was. It was a company that I've only dealt with them a few times, but at the end of the day, it will be interesting to see if anything does come out. And actually, if any of our viewers know anything that we don't know, please post a comment and keep in touch and let us know what's going on. Right. Well, thank you very much, Michael, for that question. That's all we've got for today, anyway. Actually, we've had some other questions, but a lot of people are asking for reviews, more reviews.
Yeah.
And of course, now we've got the little shooting range, and obviously you've seen that we've been down to Mad Air today. I'm sure we're going to be doing some more reviews in future, so that is.
I think the weather gets nicer.
Exactly. I mean, it's still pouring down now. To be honest, we sort of got a little bit lucky today, didn't we? But yeah, there'll be more reviews coming up in the future. And again, if there's something that you want us to review in particular, let us know in the comments below. Right, well that's sort of it for air rifles, but we were talking about we
kind of got a bit interested in soft air, so we thought we've got a few more kicking around, you might have noticed, so we thought we'd drag them out and give you a little preview of some stuff that you may not know exists.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you might not have seen it.
Well, I've been collecting one or two little bits.
So we have here an MG42.
That's right.
Every house should have one of these, really. It's sort of thing that on your kitchen window in case you get something like,
I don't even know whether you can see that in shot. So what I'll do is I'm going to try and lift it up and drag it back. Okay.
There we go.
So this is a 6mm firer drum magazine. The drum's actually battery operated. This actually fires around about 1,200 shots per minute, which is 20 per second, which is incredible.
Nuts, isn't it? 20 per second.
And runs off a battery. I think it's a 7.2 volt battery. It's a really heavy piece, so I'm going to put it down now. But that's one in the collection. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Tell us something about the original.
Well, I mean, there was they had the MG34, which was the original, was the pre-war 950 rounds a minute machine gun. They had beautifully made, very expensive to make, so they wanted something which was cheaper to make, so they developed this rifle, the MG4 machine gun, the MG42.
I'm pretty sure this was called Hitler's buzzsaw or something.
That was the nickname for it, yeah. And it was a terrifying weapon. It sounded like a buzzsaw going off, and it had everybody terrified because of the noise it made. And they were doing films, really. The Americans were doing propaganda films, and don't be frightened about it. I've been on the range when an MG3 was fired, which is a 7.62 version of it.
Yep.
And the gunner really couldn't hit a barn door with it because it was firing so fast. Not really a target weapon.
No.
It's a wartime weapon.
Suppressing fire.
That's exactly right. And of course there is a tripod version as well, where they put it in the tripod, and interchangeable barrels, quite something.
We've now got a broom handle Mauser, carrying on the German theme. This one's quite interesting. Again, this is soft air, it's all metal. There is a 177 BB version of this
I've
one.
seen that.
But what's really interesting is this one is fully auto. It takes a CO2 bulb, and I think there's 40 rounds in the magazine, is it? No, sorry, capacity is 22 rounds, and it actually fires that off in less than a second. I think this fires at 32 rounds a second, which is about 1900 rounds a minute. So which is interesting because when you pull the trigger, it fires that quickly that by the time you've realised it's finished and you've let go of the trigger, all the CO2's gone. So basically it fires an entire CO2 bulb at once, and the 22 rounds just literally come out and gone. So it's a bit of a one-trick pony. I do fire this on semi-auto mainly because I can't afford the running costs of the bulbs. It's ridiculous. But that's a really cool weapon. So that's the.
So it's based on the original, which is the Mauser 1896, as featured by Winston Churchill, because he carried one of these as a young lieutenant. At Omdurman, which he fought at. The original gun had a top loading from a clip.
Yep.
This is the probably the Astra version. The Spanish did a version of it with a detachable magazine, and I think there was a Mauser version as well, very rare, where they had optional extra where you could specify a deep magazine, but I don't think it was removable.
This one's this one's the M7112 broom handle.
Right. Okay. Well, they're always known as a broom handle because of that
the handle.
Yeah, it mimics the real thing. I've never fired a real one. I've seen plenty of them. You cock the hammer back, then you cycle the action, and the safety catch is there. And this one's got the auto.
I really like the safety catch there.
Right.
It actually works really well.
Yeah, in Churchill's autobiography, which he wrote about the battle, he dislocated his shoulder in a boating. He was docking in India. He grabbed the side and the boat went down and dislocated his shoulder. And of course, once you've done that, in old days, it was dislocated and went back in and came back out. So he didn't feel able to handle a sword. So he put his sword away and he withdrew his Mauser, which he bought in London, apparently the lead before, and went into the battle with a semi-automatic pistol, probably one of the very first semi-automatic pistols on the market.
Excellent. Right.
So, yeah, but I mean, it's action. It feels the same weight. I prefer it with a mag out. I think the look's a little bit cooler. They were carried by the German army in the First World War extensively. Very, very accurate. And they had a shoulder stock, and this has even got a groove for the shoulder stock.
You can actually get a shoulder stock for it, but I didn't bother. Yeah. I'm pretty sure didn't they use the converted one in Star Wars or something? I know they used the Sterlings, which was interesting.
And they used these. There was a version of this carried in the early Star Wars, so they obviously had a lot of military equipment.
Because that Sterling at the back, that obviously was the actual stormtroopers.
That's right. But if you look in some of the promotion shots, they were using these as well.
Ah, very interesting.
There we go. Come here for Star Wars.
And talking about films, actually, that's a good link, isn't it? Because talking about films, we've actually got. Does anybody remember that?
Of course we have.
You've got, what was it? You've got 10 seconds to comply. That's actually a replica of Robocop's gun, which is the Beretta 93R.
Can you do the Yeah.
Not with this one. Not with this one because it took me about 1.5 years to find one, and it's funny because it is actually a little bit collectible. It's an old one, and this is. It's mainly plastic, to be honest with you, which I was a little bit gutted about because I thought if it was metal,
on the camera it probably looks. You can't.
It probably looks absolutely fantastic, and this is fully auto as well, and it's a lot of fun actually. But that is, I don't really shoot that much because it's too collectible to shoot. I really love that. Anyway, that's the Beretta 93R.
What else have we got? Yeah.
We've got. Well, I've just got.
Thompson.
The Thompson. Yeah, we got it.
Right. So this is doing my head in, this gun, because it's the shape and everything on it is a model 1921 Thompson Chicago typewriter.
I think it's a 1928 typewriter.
Yeah.
So we'll have to actually somebody in the comments has
no,
tell us exactly
it's neither, because it's based on an M21. Because the M21 was the military spec one with the side cocking knee without the bliss drop lock. Yeah. And so it hasn't. So it's a bit of a hybrid. Yeah, I don't know if it's historically correct, you know.
Well, when I bought that, I did actually have a stick mag with it, and I had.
But the M21 wouldn't have taken a drum. It would have only taken a stick.
Do you know what? I wonder if this was originally bought with the stick magazine and the straight foregrip, and somebody basically has added those bits to it.
Not so sure because the compensator's wrong. The compensator's correct for the early model. Cuts compensator. There we go. Oh my god.
The main thing is it's battery operated. And it is drum fed. And it's got a winder on the front, so you actually wind the drum up, and it's awesome. And everybody that comes to my house and shoots this absolutely loves it. Puts a smile on everybody's face.
Talking about that, look, the reach to pull of that one. Very much like the crowd.
It's designed for full-size people again.
Yeah. Gangsters.
Where
does that put you?
I'm not saying. I think that's a really cool-looking weapon. Unfortunately, what you won't get off the video is this is actually fake wood, so it's plastic, which is a damn shame. I'd love one in wood. And evidently G&G do a recoiling one as well, which will be really cool.
I think I've got.
Yeah. He's just showing off now. But anyway, that's my Thompson typewriter, 1921/28, whatever.
Chicago piano, wasn't
it? And it's an awesome piece of kit. Yeah. We've got 2 more to go.
Yep.
We've got this little thing that's actually made by a company called Magpul in America, and it was.
Is it a torch?
It
could
be a lunchbox, couldn't it? But it actually comes with a little torch, so you can walk around with your dog at night, and if you see some undesirables or ne'er-do-wells, you can literally just flick the switch on the side there, and Bob's your uncle.
Wow!
Turns into a 9mm
That's
machine.
What every dog walker should have.
Yeah. Ideal. Yeah. Excellent.
Take me around here.
Interestingly, it was put into production in 9mm, but this is obviously the soft air version.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing piece of engineering. It'd be nice if it was all metal.
Yeah.
But like the original one. But really, actually no, it wasn't.
No,
all
it
metal.
was plastic.
That's right. It was ABS plastic. There you go. I'm wrong. So it was ABS plastic, but like a really cool, and it folds back up. I'll show you. You release that pistol grip, and that releases inside there, and then that folds up, and you've got to have 3 hands to do it. But
and then you're out with your dog again.
And there you go. So that's that. And last but no means least, one of my favourite guns, because you probably, obviously earlier we were talking about the Winchester underlever, and that's my little mare's leg Winchester. It's called mare's leg because it's shortened. This one's been converted to gas.
So that's based on a Winchester 73, 1873 saddle ring carbine.
Yep. And the nice thing is, it's got a really nice big saddle ring. And shall I?
Yeah, go on then. Give us a demo.
This mine. I know. I need a cowboy hat. Everybody said it. Some people say I'm a cowboy. Anyway, but anyway, the idea behind that is when you're on your horse. Can you see that? See that?
We don't have a horse.
I haven't got a horse. I've got a little dog. But right, okay. So the idea is you can actually cock it like that. And I can actually do it better with the big rifle, and I'm not as good as John Wayne because he used to do it one-handed.
He used to do it on a horse, with a pistol in the other hand.
So maybe next video,
yes,
we'll give it a go. But,
or a sheep.
Yeah. But that's another cool little. I've got a few of those actually. But there you go. Anyway, that's the interesting, different world of soft air guns for you, and they are a hell of a lot of fun. So.
British Shooting Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking to John Addison yesterday, he tells me that they've almost filled the new size hall, the second hall. So if you
with more retailers?
More retailers. So he's just filling the last few spaces. So here we are with months to go, and he's already filled half as much as he had there last year.
Sorry, that's going to...
it's going to be a massive show.
Well, we'll
let's
both
see
be
if
there
we can.
year.
Yeah, we'll both be there, and let's hope he can take another hall and fill it up to make it even more of an event. But as it is, it's still going to be very good.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, when's that? Is it April?
No,
March?
it's where are we? February.
February next year.
Yes.
February next year. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching again. I'm Lloyd, and this is Tony. And post your comments below. There's a little bell thing at the bottom. If you press the bell thing, evidently you get notified. Subscribe. If you don't like what you hear, give us a thumbs down. Let us know why. If you love us, give us a thumbs up. And we appreciate all your comments.
We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Steve from the British Shooting Show. Come and see us in February next year, 2019. We'll have wider aisles, more space, and a bigger and better show. Thank you.